Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome to lesson 3 with me, Shabbir, live teaching you another topic of GCSE Maths this morning. Hope you're well. I know a lot of year 10s and year 12s have gone back to school for the first time in 3 months this week. Are you a year 10 who's going back to school? Let me know. Thank you for kind of watching lesson 3. If you haven't watched lesson 1 or 2, it's fine. They are on my YouTube channel. So make sure you go and check them out. Give me any topics. Let me know any new topics that you would like me to teach. And I'll see if I can fit them in. Give me any feedback. Tell me, share this with your friends. Let me know if you find this lesson really useful. So if you are watching for the first time, just to tell you a bit about me, my name's Shabbir. I've been a maths teacher for 7 years, taught in 2 different secondary schools. I now tutor full-time, working with students studying towards their GCSE and A-level. So I'm just kind of trying to help more students whilst they're still out of school and don't seem to be kind of going back to school for a normal fashion until at least September. So let's do a few shout outs. Chris Hurst, hello to you. And if you let me know where you're kind of watching this from, what year group you're in, what's your name, what school you're from, I'll try to kind of give you a little shout out as I keep promising everyone. Okay, so let's make a start with the lesson today. So as you know, we start with a 5-minute kind of warm up, get your maths brains on, make sure you've got your pen, make sure you've got your calculator, because you will be needing a calculator today. You can just use your phones and make sure you've got something to write with. So we're going to be doing our countdown numbers game for the first few minutes. I'm just going to share my screen so you can see. Okay, here we go. So countdown numbers game for today. If you've not, if this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. Just to give you a quick demonstration of how this works, you've got 6 numbers and I'll be giving you 6 numbers and you've got to use those 6 numbers to make the target number at the top. You can only use each number once and you can only add, subtract, multiply and divide, but you don't have to use all of the numbers. You don't have to use all of the numbers. You've got to try to get as close to that target number as possible. So the numbers for today are 50, 75, 6, 8, another 6, and 3. And the target that you've got to make, the target number is 102. I'm going to give you 3 minutes like I did in last lesson. 3 minutes. Your time starts now. And whilst you do that, I will be giving kind of some people who are watching shout outs. Tim, hi, hello to you too. Aaron Lovekin, I've seen that name pop up a few times. Thank you for watching again and again, Aaron. Lovely to see you this morning. So you've got 50, 75, 6, 8, 6 and 3, and you've got to make 102. You can only add, subtract, multiply and divide those numbers. You can't use the numbers more than once. No cheating, no using calculators. Let's get our mental maths brains working. Let's see if you can get 102. Let me know if you're watching, what year group you're in, what school you're watching from, and I will try to kind of shout out and give as many mentions as possible. Okay, you've got 2 minutes left. Khadija Kapasi, that's my little cousin. She's got 101. Well, the target is 102 and is possible. So let's keep going. We've got a couple of minutes. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can get 102. Chris Hurst, Year 7 from St. Joe's. Alicia Mountford from Sir Thomas Bowie. I used to teach there in Year 8. Zainab, hello. Keep them coming. Just going to put a little music on whilst we're kind of trying to do this. 1 minute left, guys. 1 minute. It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. Aaron's got 102. Well done, Aaron. I'll be going through it in 1 minute. If you haven't got it, you'll be able to see how to get that answer. Share this with your friends. Share it on WhatsApp. Get them on it. Get them on this lesson. We are live. Chris got 103. Well done, Chris. It's still pretty close. So you've got a few seconds to see if you can get that 102. Also, if you've got any maths questions, whilst I'm doing this lesson, kind of towards the end, I'm going to try to answer as many as your maths lessons as possible. Okay, so Khadija said she's got it. Well done. And your time is up, guys. Time's up. Right, let's see how we get the 102. So the way I tried to think about this was 102, kind of what the multiples of 102. So I thought, well, 204, then 306, because I can, if I use this 3, if I can make 306 and then divide it by this 3 here, I can make 102. So I tried to get 306, and you can make 306 if you do 50 times 6, you get 300. So I've used the 50 and the 6 there. I'm then going to just use this 6 and do 300, add the 6, which is 306. And then all I've got to do, like I said, is do 306 divide by the 3, which I've got here, which makes 102. Okay, so that's how you get 102. I'm sure there are lots of different ways to work it out. That's just one way, and that's just how I did it. And well done to everyone kind of who got that right. So what are we going to be learning about today? Today, we're going to be looking at the famous Pythagoras Theorem. This is grade 4, as you can see on the screen, grade 4. Now, that is in old money. This is a grade C. Grade 4 is a pass. If you do GCSEs and you get grade 4, that's a pass. So this is, and this is a key topic, comes up always in GCSE exams. Yeah, so this is why I've chosen this. Another reason why I've chosen this today to teach you is because a lot of people get confused between Pythagoras' theorem and trigonometry. And we're going to be having a look at the difference between them in the next lesson. Okay, so if you want to kind of pop on to my next lesson, which is Friday at 11, we'll be having a look at trigonometry and what the difference is between Pythagoras' theorem and that are. Now, Pythagoras' theorem, just to give you a little bit of history, is named after the famous kind of ancient Greek philosopher Pythagoras of Samos. And there are some kind of myths about this guy. One of them was that, according to kind of popular legend, after he made his discovery, after he worked out this Pythagoras theorem, he sacrificed an oxen. That's just one of the things. Another thing is that he did set up a school, and where he got kind of all the students there to vow to secrecy. Yeah, pretty weird. And that's just a little bit of kind of Pythagoras and the guy kind of behind it. But there are quite a lot of historians who are skeptical whether he was the inventor of Pythagoras, because a lot of people say that there were loads of people who were using Pythagoras' theorem before he actually came up with it. So what is Pythagoras' theorem? It is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It's a formula that we can use to work out the length of the missing side of a right angle triangle. Okay, now whilst we're going through any of these lessons, make sure you are making notes. Make sure you write this down. It's important to know when you've got to use it, especially if you were to spot it in those all-important GCSE exams. So we use it to work out the length of a missing side of a right angle triangle. And the formula you'll see on every single screen as we go through it, as you can see there. So when can we use it? And this is what a lot of people get confused about. We can only use it, first of all, if it's a right angle triangle. If it's a different type of shape or a different type of triangle, we cannot use it. It's got to be a right angle triangle. So make sure if you see a right angle triangle, then that's when you can use it. Another thing is we've got to have been given two lengths in order for us to work out the missing side. So you need 2 out of 3 in order to use Pythagoras' theorem. If you haven't got 2 sides and the lengths of 2 sides, you can't work out the third one, not using Pythagoras' theorem anyway. So those 2 are really important. Let's have a look at an example of this. Okay, so I would copy this down. If you've got a kind of piece of paper in front of you, copy this down. If you miss any of this, by the way, you will be able to see it on the YouTube channel afterwards. So now the first thing with Pythagoras' theorem is we've got to label the sides with these 3, A, B, and C. They are the 3 sides of a right angle triangle. The most important side to label is this one, C. Okay, and that is what we call the hypotenuse. That is the longest side of the right angle triangle. Okay, and there's a particular way we can spot it, and an easy way we can spot which one is the hypotenuse. Because if you label that wrong, guys, you're going to get this whole question wrong. So it's really important to make sure you get the labeling right with this. And the way we can spot C is by looking at where the right angle is. So if that's where the right angle is, the hypotenuse is the side that's opposite to my right angle. So in this case, C is going to be there. And then A and B, you can label whichever ways you want. C is the one that you've got to label correctly. So let's have a look at our example. So there is the right angle of the triangle. The side that's opposite is that one. So that's C. And then the other 2 sides would be A and B. And like I said, it doesn't matter how we label the other 2 sides. The most important label is C. What we do then, what I would always do next is write down the formula A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And you can see I've been given, it's a right angle triangle, and I've been given 2 out of 3 sides, so I can work out the missing length. What I would do now is put in the information from the question into my formula. So I know the value of A is 8. So I'm going to say that's 8 squared plus B, which is 6. So 6 squared equals C. And I'm just going to leave that as C squared. Okay. What I now do, we can now work out what 8 squared and 6 squared are. So 8 squared, 8 times 8 is 64. And 6 times 6 is 36. Okay, and that's still, I'm just going to leave that end bit as C squared. And 64 plus 36 is 100. That equals C squared. But that's not the final answer, because that is C squared. What we're trying to work out is how long the length of side C. So how do we get from C squared to C? What's the opposite of squaring something? It's the square root. So we've got to do the opposite. We've got to square root both sides here. So here we've got to square root 100. Okay, and we can do this without a calculator. We can think of what 2 numbers multiply together to give me 100, but they've got to be the same number. So what number multiplies by itself to give me 100? Well, that's 10. 10 times 10 is 100. So 10 is the answer, and that's what C equals. C equals 10. Okay, I'm going to give you a question to have a go yourselves. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to have a go at it. You can use a calculator for it, and then after the 3 minutes, we'll see if you got it right. Are you ready? 3 minutes. Here we go. Have a go at that one. And if you can, whilst you're doing that, if anyone else is watching, let me know if you are watching. Okay, we've got 3 minutes on this question, and then I'll go through it and we'll see who got it right. Okay, and I'll just put some music on. Can you work it out? Can you get the right answer? We want to work out the length of AC. And you can use a calculator. Let me know if you're watching, guys. What school you going? What school you go to? What year you're in? Don't forget, you can also follow us on Instagram. It's Kapasi Maths Tutoring. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button as well, and you'll be able to kind of see any videos as they go live. And when I upload some more videos. So who's worked it out? Has anyone worked it out? Yeah, we've got a couple of minutes left. 40 seconds. Have you worked it out? Tim Chung says he's worked it out. Okay, we'll see if you get the right answer. I really hope you do. "15 seconds, and we'll go through it. Now, this is a calculator question. Okay, and your time is up. Okay, so let's quickly go through this. So like I said, the most important one, the side to label, is C. That is opposite the right angle. So there's the right angle. The side opposite is that one. So that is C. Okay, and I'm just going to label these A and B. And it doesn't matter if you labeled A and B the wrong way around, but C, if you didn't label that one as C, I'm afraid you're going to have got this one wrong. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. We put the numbers in. So 4.8 squared plus 3.6 squared equals C squared. And I'm going to need my calculator for this. 4.8 squared plus 3.6 squared. I'm just going to type all of that in, and that gives me 36. So C squared equals 36. I need to work out C, so I need to square root both of these, which gives me C equals the square root of 36. So what number multiplies by itself to give me 36? Well, that's 6, isn't it? So C equals 6. Who got that right? Did you get that right? If you did, well done. Okay, if you didn't, doesn't matter. Just have a look at kind of where you made that mistake and correct it. Mistakes are fine to make. Mistakes are good to make because that's how we kind of learn. If you don't make a mistake, it's kind of like, well, this might be a bit too easy for you, right? So it's good. Mistakes are good, right? Let's have a look at a slightly different example now. Example number 2, again, make sure you set this out, write this down, copy the question. So the first thing, again, it's a right angle triangle. We've been given 2 sides out of the 3, and it's asking us to work out the 3rd side. So we're going to use Pythagoras theorem for this question. Okay, label the sides. Which one is C? Well, that's my right angle. C is opposite it here. So that is C. And then I can label A and B however I want there. Okay, I'm going to now do the same thing. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I'm going to put the numbers in from the question into my formula. So I know A is 6. So that's 6 squared. This time, we haven't been given B, as you can notice. So I'm just going to leave that as B squared. And this is what's slightly different about this example. C is 14, though we've been given that. Okay, so I'm going to write it like that. Again, I'm going to work out 6 squared is 36. I don't know what B is, so I can't work that out. 14 squared, 14 times 14 is 196. And this is what's slightly different, because in the previous example, we were given these 2 and we just added them together. In this case, we need to work out B squared. So 36 plus something equals the 196. So if I take 36 away from 196, that's going to give me B squared in this case. Okay, so 196 take away 36 is 160. And then finally, I square root it because I want to work out what B is. So that's the square root of 160, which is going to give me a decimal number. So I'm just going to write this to 2 decimal places, 12.65. And the units are centimeters. I'm just going to write that to 2 decimal places. Okay, that's my level of accuracy. Okay, make sure you've copied that down step by step. And I'm going to get you to have a go at one of these questions now. Again, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. You ready? Let's see if you can work out the next question. Here we go. 3 minutes. Okay. Aaron got it. The previous question right. Well done. Tim got it. Well done, Tim. Right, let's see if you can, both of you can get this one right. Did anyone else get it right? Don't forget, if you're enjoying the lesson, hit that like button and make sure you've subscribed to the channel. Okay, you've got 2.5 minutes.
Looking for the best music for you.
Khadija also got it right. Well done. Let's see how many get this right.
Chill by Sakura HC. Take you there. Feet reattune by
Okay, you can have about a minute left. Okay, 45 seconds, and then we'll go through it. And then once we've done this, I've got a little puzzle for you to take away with you. and have a go at for next lesson. Okay, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go through it. So this time we're going to label the sides. C is opposite the right angle. That's the right angle. Opposite that is C. So C. And then I'm just going to label that as A and B. Okay. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Always write that down first. Put in the numbers. This time we don't know what A is. So I'm just going to write that as A squared plus B is 6. So 6 squared, and C is 20. So 20 squared. Work out what 20 squared and 6 squared is. I'm just going to leave A squared there. Plus 36. 6 times 6 is 36. 20 times 20. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. And if I add the 2 zeros, that makes 400. And then, so something plus 36 has got to give me 400. So if I do 400 take away 36, that's going to give me A squared. Okay, so A squared equals 364. That's A squared. I need A, so I need to do the opposite. I need to square root this, 364, which gives me an answer of 19.08 to 2 decimal places. Who got that right? Yes, Khadija, Aaron, Tim. Brilliant. Well done, guys. Right. Well, that kind of brings us to the end of this lesson and Pythagoras Theorem lesson. However, don't go anywhere yet, because I've got a little puzzle for you to take away. This is, I've kind of seen this on my Facebook feed all of last week. A few of my family members have been sharing it and having a go at it. So, and I thought it'd be great for you guys to have a go at. Can you work out the puzzle? Okay, don't need to do it now. We're not going to do it now. What you can do is pause the video when you take a look at it again, and I'll be going through the answer on Friday at 11 a.m. when we have our next maths lesson. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this lesson. Make sure you subscribed if you haven't already. Please share this with your friends. I want to kind of reach out to as many your 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s as possible with these lessons. So do share this with your friends and let them know about my channel. I'll also be uploading maths videos on different topics over the next few weeks. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. Okay. And that's it from me. So well done. Well done for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed my lesson. See you soon.